Hello friends, in last 3 videos I have discussed in detail about the electrodes, electrolyte, separators and current collectors. If you haven't watched those videos, then I suggest you to click on the I button and check the lithium cell manufacturing playlist. In today's video, I am going to discuss how lithium ion battery cells are fabricated, and I believe this will help you to understand how the cells actually work. Remember one thing, lithium ion cells are made in a number of different form factors like cylindrical cells which are formed by wrapping an electrode structure in a spiral called jelly roll, prismatic cells which are packaged in rectangular container, and these are formed by wrapping electrode again in a jelly roll but in a flatter. Finally, pouch cells which are also flat but instead of having an internal wrapped or spiral structure, they comprise electrode plates stacked on top of each other. So without wasting time, let's enter to the world of green energy. Even though cells can be packaged in different external form factors, the electrodes used inside these cells are of very similar form and are made by very similar process or even identical equipment. When creating an electrode structure, we start with the current collector materials which are metal foils, and we coat both sides of these metal foils with layers of the electrode materials. A positive electrode current collector, which is shown as grey in color, is usually made from aluminium, and underneath that you see a negative electrode current collector in orange, which is usually made from copper. Notice that both sides of the current collector are coated with active materials, and you will see that when a cell is formed either by spiral winding or by stacking plates, the electrode material are on both sides of the current collector and both sides are utilized. And by coating both sides instead of just one side, we get a reduction in the total volume required for the same total capacity of battery cell by not wasting one side of the current collector. The colors I used to represent the active material are purely for illustration purposes. I consistently use the color purple when talking about positive electrode and green when talking about negative electrodes, but that's for illustrative purpose. Whereas in the real battery cell, these materials look pretty much like a black powder, and it would be very difficult to distinguish between them with just our naked eye. The negative electrode active material is usually some form of graphite. This is the image of graphite, a scanning electron microscope or SEM used in a lithium ion battery cell. You already know the electrode is not composed of a single solid piece of active material because that increases the overall surface area for the electrode and it allows higher power. In general, some kind of lithium metal oxide is used as the active material in the positive electrode. And here I show you SEM image of lithium manganese oxide material, which is one of the candidate material to be used in the positive electrode. Again, to the naked eye, both of these material would simply look like a black powder. But under the microscope, we can see that there are distinctive shapes and patterns. And so it is actually possible often to distinguish optically what the material is. But it's also important when we manufacture the cell, we don't have to mix up them because contamination between the materials will ruin the cell. When the cell is being constructed, the negative and the positive electrodes are usually fabricated in different rooms. So there is no airborne contamination. What we desire is that the particles be small in order to maximize the surface areas so we can have a high current cell, a high power cell. On the other hand, we also desire a smooth spherical shapes if possible, since sharp edges are susceptible to higher electrical stresses and cause faster decomposition of this solid electrolyte interface layer. So sharp edges and pointy edges can lead to premature aging and fail it here in the cell, and even possible thermal runaway after extended period of degradation. When we start fabricating the cell, we begin with the electrodes, and when we fabricate the electrodes, we begin with just foils of current collector material that are usually delivered in large spiral reels, up to perhaps a half a meter in width. The reels of current collector foil are mounted directly on a machine that unwinds the foil and coats the reel of foil with the electrode active materials. Here you can see how the reel is initially mounted and how the reel is unwound by unwinding machine. And then you can see that there is a coater that coats the electrode material onto both sides of this foil, and then the foil passes through other stages. Let's think about the coating process in a little more detail. When we coat the current collector foil, we don't simply put on the active materials, but we include with those some conductive agents like carbon black perhaps, and some binding agents like PVDF. And all of these are mixed together and then added to the mixture in a solvent that makes this mixture into a slurry or paste that can be sprayed on top of the foils. Now this solvent that we are adding at this point is simply for the manufacturing of the electrode, and it has nothing to do with the operation of the battery cell. So once this slurry is prepared, it is sprayed on both sides of the foil, and there is a blade that's located just above the foil that scrapes off the excess materials in order to control the thickness of the electrode coating. And the thickness is designed quite carefully so that the energy storage capabilities of the negative and positive electrodes match each other, so that we would not be wasting more material or volume or weight by having an excess of one material versus another. After the foil has been created, the coated foil moves into a drying oven, and this oven bakes the electrode material onto the foil, and it also evaporates the solvent that was added in the previous step to form the slurry. And at the end of the step, the electrode materials have a good mechanical connection to the foil. When the foil is completely dry, it exits the oven and it's wind onto a reel on the right hand side of the drying, and we are finished with this particular piece of equipment. And now we have to move to the next step. The next step is processing the electrode is to form an operation known as calendering. This means pressing to compress something. So the reel of coated foil from the previous machine is removed from that machine and it's placed on a left hand side of the machine, and the electrode coated foils are once again passed through in an unwinding device, and then they are passed through large rollers that press the electrodes down to a highly calibrated thickness. And so this process is known as pressing or calendering the electrode. The purpose of performing this calendering is to compress the electrode to compact out extra spaces or voids between the particles, and pressing the porosity down to calibrated level to ensure more consistent density of particles throughout the entire electrode. The electrode material then passes through a machine that slits the electrode lengthwise, and these narrower electrode strips are wound onto individual coils at the output of this machine, having the final desired widths. At this point in discussing how the lithium cell battery is fabricated, we have seen how the electrodes are fabricated. The metal current collector foils are unrolled. A slurry of the electrode solid material plus additives is deposited onto the foil. Dryers evaporate the solvent and adhere the electrode active materials onto the current collectors. A calendering process produces the desired porosity and ensures contact of the active materials with each other. And finally, the electrodes are split to their final widths, and the narrower electrode foils are re-railed in preparation for the next step of cell manufacturing. So, at this point, I assume that you understood how the electrodes are prepared when fabricating a lithium-ion battery cell. In the next video, we will understand how we take those electrodes and package them into their final packaging. I hope you found this video very informative. So like this video, share it among your friends, subscribe to my channel, and see you in next video.